for all of those who are listening. Okay, here we go. These are my cards and I'm shuffling. So here we go. The Page of Fire. All right, there you go. Page of Fire. Ooh, that's an intense one. This one is great because you got the dragon, and you have it looks like he's extending out, so that's really great because this is like new endeavors, exciting opportunities, keeping things like fresh and new, and being out there and putting yourself out there. So the month of February, we kind of are going to be doing that. You know, we're getting ready for spring. We're getting ready for new love. It's the new season, right? Because every season has its thing. Well, we're going into a new season. So what's happening is that you're going to want to try to do something new. You're going to want to try to do something exciting and be original and creative and outgoing and, you know, see where it goes. You know, throw something on the wall and see if it catches and if it works. So with that being said, I think this is a cool card because, you know, you could be really mischievous because dragons kind of are mischievous, you know, and so you can kind of be a little fun and creative and mischievous and have fun. And that is your card, the Page of Fire. There you go. I don't know if it's going to show. There we go. All right. I know it's kind of blurry. I'm sorry, people. This is all new to me. I'm trying. So I want everybody to we're going to go ahead and do real quick. We're going to do a superstitious Valentine. And so the one thing that I got here was from appleyardflowers.com, and I thought it was really cute. So we're gonna just go through one, and it's ghostly going. So in Halloween and Valentine's Day, people like women would join forces on the superstitious tradition, and this old superstition was kind of where you had really gusty girls, and they would go to the local graveyard at midnight on the 13th of February. They would run around the church 12 times, chanting a prescribed poem with the hope of conjuring a ghostly vision of the man that they would marry. And I thought that was super cute because, you know, that's really cute little tradition and superstition. And maybe they got their vision and you know, insight of, you know, what they wanted to, what they saw of their new person. And I thought, you know, that was such a cute little superstition, a tradition that, you know, maybe I've never really heard of it, but I thought it was the coolest thing. So, I'm always kind of curious if somebody's already done something like that. I would love to see that. And so we have 2 minutes left on this show, and unfortunately it was very short. So, but I wanted to tell you guys, please make sure if you guys have questions or you want to, you know, be a guest or do anything, please contact me at askbellamaria.com, and you can fill out the contact form and contact me. I don't take calls, but you can send me a text message, and you know, feel free to reach out, and you can also reach out to A1R Radio, and they can go ahead and you know, pass the information on to me. But please participate. Please be on the show if you want to ask a question. Ask me a question. Superstitions, omens, anything that you want and you're kind of curious about, I would love to do research on it and be able to give you those answers. So if you have a question on love and romance, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm certified under Patty Negri, and I'm certified under Dr. Ava Cadell, the love therapist at Hollywood Stars. So thank you so much. I'm so glad to have seen you, to be here on this new show, Ask Bella Maria on A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.
Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Angelic Insights and Healing with Margaret Phillips. Live from AngelsAlwaysAroundUs.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, that's1radio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Angelic Insights and Healing on A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
Everybody, happy Tuesday. I hope you are all having a fantastic, fabulous Tuesday. I am Margaret Phillips. For those of you who don't know, I am a psychic medium, a life coach, a shamanic energy healer, a Reiki master, a pranic energy healer, and a certified hypnotherapist. And I am also the owner of Angels Always Around Us. If you would like to follow me, you can do that by going out and checking out my Facebook page, which is Angels Always Around Us, or you can follow my private page, Margaret Phillips, but all my events are on my business page, Angels Always Around Us. You can also find me on Instagram at Angel Margaret P. You can also find me on TikTok at Angel Margaret P8. So there's that. Also, you can contact me through my website, which is angelsalwaysaroundus.com. So lots of cool stuff coming up. As we roll into the spring, we're going to roll into lots of great stuff. Every Tuesday at 4:30. It looks late today, but that's okay. We're only a couple minutes late. Every Tuesday at 4:30, I do Angelic Insights and Healing with A1R Psychic Radio. Honored to be part of that network. This Saturday, I can't believe it's happening already. So this Saturday at 10 o'clock to noon on Zoom, I am teaching my Journey into the Angelic Realm class. And that, again, will be on Zoom. And you can check out my Facebook page for more information. And in the meantime, I believe, yes, we have Trish in England. How are you today, Trish?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How can I help you today?
Just a general, please, if possible.
General reading? Sure. Let's ask Angels what you need to know.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I thank you for joining us here. Oh, Trish. Okay, so our first card, Leela, comes up. And she's telling you need to take time and do more meditation. Not only just meditation, but she wants you to take more time and spend more time outside. I am trying to remember, and my memory is failing me. I apologize. From what I remember, it's not freezing over there in the UK, is it? Like it's here in the States?
Oh, it's real cold.
It's real cold over there too? Okay. So it may be a little chilly to be going outside for a very long time, but even if you can do like a 5-10 minute, just sit and kind of be mindful on your porch, or, if you have a window that gets a lot of sun, if you can sit by the window and kind of give yourself some quiet time. Because what I'm hearing is Leah's saying, you need more meditation time, but even more importantly, the angels are saying you need more quiet time. They're saying they're trying to get through to you, but there's just way too much time. You're not allowing them to get through. You're putting everything else in front. And sometimes, we can just do that, just put in life, because we get busy trying to make this thing work that we call life, right? And then we forget that we have to have some kind of downtime, because if we're always going, then spirit can't get through to us, or at least not very easily. And it's not that it's a hard job for spirit, it's a hard job for us having the human experience, being able to hear them, because those messages are all like right here. We just gotta be able to tune in enough to hear them and grab them. So again, you want to spend more time outside, spend more quiet time, Trish. They're saying, they need that. Now, as you do this quiet time, again, it doesn't matter, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day. What I am hearing, though, is they want you to do at least 3 times a week. And I know that sounds like a lot, but at least 3 times a week, they want you to take 10 to 15 minutes, and intentionally set that time aside. So Instead of saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to get to it, they want you to specifically say, okay, Wednesday, 9:45, that's my time. Okay, Friday, 1:15, that's my time. They want you to be very specific, at least 3 times a week with your intention, because that's going to help kind of solidify this habit for you. And then what I hear, and what the next card is telling me as well, is as you do this, as you start to solidify, as you get going, you get that 3 times a week, you're going to fall into that habit of that quiet time. And then, Mystique is going to say, keep going, because as you have that quiet time and that routine kind of start to solidify in your life, you're going to have all these blessings, because then you're going to be more receptive to spirit. And it's not that you're completely closed off now. It's just you're going to be more able to receive. So then, once you start doing this 3 times a week quiet time, you're going to get bombarded with messages. About 3 weeks later, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with all this stuff I'm supposed to be doing. Spirit's really giving me a lot of assignments here. But that's because you have a big purpose. You have work to do, and they are here to tell you, they are with you. They are trying to guide you. But again, you need more quiet time so you can. And Mystique's going to help you. She's going to help you materialize everything. And when you feel like you're stuck, Fiona's coming, and she says, I want you to call on me, and I will help remove those obstacles from you. Fiona, I nicknamed like the banging your head against the wall angel. Because she usually comes to us after we've tried a whole bunch of things and we're just so frustrated. We're like, fine, God, you fix it. We can't take it anymore. That's usually when Fiona swoops in, and then she takes things out of her way. And then it's like, well, why didn't I just do that in the first place? So, again, you want to do some quiet time and allow yourself to just be receptive to what's coming in. What else can I help you with today? Do you need more clarification on that? You think you got that part handled?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else I can answer for you today? We have a few more minutes.
Not that I can think. The financial situation is a bit bad at the moment. Can you see that getting better?
I'm sorry, which situation do I see getting better?
My financial situation is a bit bad at the moment. Can you see that getting better, please?
Let's take a look. Ooh. Ask and ye shall receive. So we got a couple good cards. This is Astra, and she comes to tell you that you deserve the very best. She says, when you reach for the stars, I'm going to drop them into your lap. So that's a good sign. Keep working. Keep doing that quiet time. Astra is going to come help you. On top of that, we have Seraphina's here, and she is the happy change family angel. She usually comes to us when there's some kind of happy change coming in the family. So what it feels like, it feels within the next 4 to 6 months, everything's going to kind of start settling down, settling in. And like I said, in the next 4 to 6 months, and then probably about 7 to 9 months from now, it's going to seem, it's not going to be perfect because we don't live in a perfect world. It's going to be so much easier. So hang in there. I know it's tough, but it will get better. Like I said, 4 to 6 months, it's going to start smoothing out. 7 to 9 months, you're going to be looking like, I'm not even navigating a road. What's going on here? This is so easy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Trish. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad and honored to be able to help you today. I hope you have an awesome day.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So just a quick recap. Run down some events again. Every Tuesday, I am here on A1R Psychic Radio at 4:30 doing our show. This Saturday, February 8th, I will be teaching Journey into the Angelic Realm, where we're going to learn about angels, the purpose, and tell the difference between them, a deceased loved one, all kinds of cool stuff about angels. It's a very great beginner class. It's also a class if you know some stuff about angels, but you want a little more information. The class is only $50, and you can find it on my Facebook page. You can find the event page there. It's called Journey into the Angelic Realm. Again, that is this Saturday. There are still a few seats left. February 8th from 10 to noon on Zoom. So if you have internet access anywhere in the world, you can take this class. I hope you guys all have a great day. Again, follow me on Facebook, angelsalwaysaroundus.com, and learn where I'm going to go next, because this is going to be a great year of great things coming up. I hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Infinite Soul Connections with Shelley Devine, the Hummingbird Media. Live from InfiniteSoulReadings.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Infinite Soul Connection on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good morning, everybody, or evening, afternoon, depends on where you are in the world. For me, it's midday. Anyway, I am Shelley Devine with Infinite Soul Connections, and before I get my caller today, because I'm definitely looking forward to a caller, I do want to tell you a little bit about my program. It's called Awaken Your Creative Spirit. It's an 8-week coaching program that works with mindfulness, meditation, and intuitive art. And it's centered around those so that you can use the canvas, not just as a surface, but as a portal or a mirror to reflect what you need to know. Even if you've never painted before, that's not the purpose of this. This is just using paint and canvas to express our intuitive feelings and our messages, okay? You are creative by nature, even if you don't think you are. You want to explore creativity, and I am here to help you with that. This painting behind me right here, I don't know if you can see it, is one that is going on in my current group of clients that I have in my program. Every time we meet, we start working on our canvas together, and these are feelings and freedom and whatever you feel inside, the colors that you choose. Okay, so go to InfiniteSoulReadings.com or InfiniteSoulReadings@gmail.com to email me, and I'll give you more information. Okay, so I am ready for my caller. Hello. Reagan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to hear your voice. Okay. What
Thank you.
is that you're looking for today? Would you like a reading, a card reading?
I'd love any reading that you're doing today, if that's okay.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, Reagan, let me just take a minute. Okay, so here's what I'm feeling first. I feel that there's a transition happening. Not life and death. I mean, transformation is the word I should use. Sorry. There's just transformation for you that is coming from, you have kind of like you have felt a victim. You have felt like you've had to get smaller and hide. You're playing it safe. You have a consciousness of lack, and which fragments your energy.
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate to you?
Yeah, it does actually.
I'm sorry?
Yes, it does sound. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, the good news is, though, I am feeling the move over. Okay, there's a rebirth coming. You can reinvent yourself. You open up to possibilities of change, opening to discovery. And you have a brilliance to share with the world. It's inside of you, and love every part of your journey. Moving out of the dark into the light. Take some deep breaths. And open up to new discoveries. Now, here's what I'm seeing as what's opening up. So it's like flowers opening up. It's like there's music involved. It's a beautiful symphony that's opening up to you.
Okay.
Okay. And you need to open up for it. Get in a receptive mode for you, allow it in. Does that make sense?
Safe, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You are safe. You are going through this rebirth, and you can let go of the thoughts of lack, change that to thoughts of abundance. You can let go of that victim mentality, because you are strong and you're a survivor, and you're more than that. You're a thriver. Okay, so these are the phases: the victim, the survivor, and
I tried to get out of it.
Okay,
That victim. I try to get out of it and stay out of it. You know
what happens is your human brain pulls you back. It's your soul that needs to come out and be stronger. Okay, because our human brains, our programming minds are really set. They're so set, and it's a lot of work to change those patterns, to break away from that, to reprogram your mind as your soul wants you to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It's so long.
I think that you're going to have some discoveries. And these discoveries are a new way of being. And it's basically this transformation that I'm talking about that you are going through. And when you're through it, I feel you're kind of in the middle of it right now.
Yeah, I am. It's been a roller coaster the last 4 years, actually.
Keep working at it. My favorite quote from Louise Hay is, "Every moment is a new beginning." Okay? And when you struggle, when you get stuck, when you start to fall back into those mentality of lack or the victim, say, "Every moment is a new beginning. I began new again." And you might sink back and do it again. Okay, so this moment is a new beginning. So in other words, don't feel guilty or bad for slipping back into those thoughts. That is human. Okay?
Yeah.
But every time you fix it, every time you flip the script from a feeling of lack to a feeling of abundance, a feeling of sadness to feeling like I am joyful, and just switch. And that will, because you know what you think about, you bring about. Everybody says that, right? So, so you need to be careful what you think about. Okay? I'm going to read this to you one more time. The rebirth is from the butterfly. And I will show you this card. It's amazing. Okay? So it says, you can reinvent yourself. Open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. Okay?
Yep.
I want you to remember those words. Can I ask you, are you planning on traveling soon?
No.
Okay. I feel like there's going to be some travel, and that doesn't mean, you're going to go long distance, but you are going to bring up the courage that you need to travel. And travel can be, that could be astral travel. That could be physically going somewhere, or just meditating and you're traveling to places you want to go. You have to have courage to do it, but I do feel like that's something that's coming for you. Okay?
Yeah.
So just, kind of be on the lookout and remember to take deep breaths. When you do, release any tension or anxiety. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so do you have any questions? Because we've still got a couple minutes.
No, I think it's just, as you said, me stuck in a rut. I'm just stuck in a... and
You're stuck.
Just keep,
Yeah.
feels like this. Just a lost. I try to get 10 steps forward, and you feel like you get thrown 10 steps back. And it feels like it's continual. I just want off that roller coaster a little bit, and I just don't know how to do it. And I'm just starting to disbelieve the spirit world and everything at the moment. I've had a lot of moments where it's been disheartening. So I think that's where I've really lost myself as well.
Okay. You know what I would love you to do, if you feel up to it, is to email me, because I feel like you might need some guidance and some help just getting over that hump. And I'm here for you, and I can do that. You can email me at infinitesoulreadings@gmail.com, or you can go to my website and contact me there. Okay, I'd like to continue this conversation because I think you need a little more clarity. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I really, really appreciate the reading. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Have a most wonderful rest of your day. And let that joy in. Okay?
Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Okay. Just like I was saying to Reagan, everybody has opportunity to open up, to let go of what's holding you back, clear your blocks. And if you need any help with that, please contact me, because that is what I do. I am a spiritual life path guide and coach. Okay? So I love you all, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio. Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for Stellar Parenting with Brandy Kahn. Live from brandycon.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Stellar Parent on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. From Houston, Texas, welcome to Stellar Parenting. I am your host, Brandy Kahn. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents to learn how to weave the magic of the stars with the art of consciously raising our children. Please visit my website at brandycon.com to book your natal chart session or a natal chart session for your child. And that's where we will go over the astrology that's in your child's chart so that you could understand them from a deeper level. You can even just schedule a parent coaching session. I am a certified parent coach through the Jai Institute of Parenting, and I'd love to help each and every one of you. So for today's show, fun stuff, as usual. We're going to go over the astrology of some of the current events that we've seen, and then I'll go over the major transits that we have in store for us this week. And then at the end, there will be time for a caller. So caller, if you'd love to have an astrology reading, a natal chart reading, or a tarot reading, please call in. I'd love to hear from you. So let's get started. It feels like it's been forever since I've seen you guys, just within the course of a week. I feel like I've traveled around the world and back. We've had so many new developments since last week. Here in the US, last Tuesday, right after my show, I signed off and I found out that President Trump enacted a plan to freeze federal loans, grants, and other forms of government financial assistance. And then this past weekend, President Trump also announced that he was placing tariffs on Canadian, Mexican, and Chinese imports. And there was a lot of speculation on the Sunday morning talk shows. So I watch Meet the Press and I watch George Stephanopoulos on Sunday mornings, and they were speculating. They had experts on who were saying that the tariffs would not be good for American citizens and also for the American economy. And they were very outspoken about the deleterious effects and the way the stock market would probably plummet because of the tariffs. So yesterday, agreements were made between President Trump and the Mexican President, Claudia Pardo, and the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. All right, so the tariffs to those two countries, to Mexico and to Canada, are now on hold for 1 month. All right, and so now I'm going to give you my objective astrological observations, not personal opinion here. So there's been quite a bit of commentary about President Trump's unpredictability, and some people think that he's making chaos as president here. And these comments I've seen are so interesting to me as an astrologer because I've taken a look at Donald Trump's natal chart, okay? And his behavior, his decisions, his actions can all be explained by the placements that he has in his chart. And I'm going to share this with you, like a little secret. So let's start off. Let me just tell you about the planet Uranus. Uranus is the planet that represents freedom, change, shocks and surprises, things that happen quickly that we never quite saw coming, awakenings and breakthroughs, okay? Now, Uranus in President Trump's natal chart is in his 10th house of career and public reputation. And also, it's only 5 degrees away from his natal sun, which represents his identity and his ego. So there's this Uranian feature or signature that Donald Trump innately carries, especially when he's in a position of power in his career. So when we're talking about Uranus and how Uranus can express in the natal chart, I want you to think about a spectrum, okay? Let's think about a spectrum. We have the highest end of expression, and then we have the lowest end of expression. And everyone, we always want to veer and shoot for the highest end of expression. So the highest end of expression with Uranus and Donald Trump's 10th house, he could actually be a really positive agent for change, okay? But at the lower end of expression, he can be very disruptive. He can bring a lot of chaos, and he could operate in an unpredictable manner. So President Trump has free will, and wherever he falls on that spectrum, that's going to be up for him to decide. But just as an astrologer, looking objectively at his natal chart, when I see Uranus there, I'm like, wow, no wonder he does the things that he does. And it's really unpredictable. That Uranus there, that's a lot of energy that he's got there. And on top of that, transiting Uranus, not even his natal Uranus, transiting Uranus right now is conjunct his midheaven. That midheaven is the angle heading into the 10th house of career. So not only does he have the natal energy of Uranus that influences him, but right now he's also dealing with the energy of transiting Uranus as well. And, you know, in the words of the Carpenters, I'm sure you guys remember that song, we've only just begun. Okay, we're only 2 weeks in, and I know that there's going to be a lot more changes that are coming. What helps me as an astrologer? I try to think about things objectively, try to look at the transits, the energy of the person like who's making the decisions. And I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit better to kind of understand from a logical point of view why I'm seeing what's happening happen. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all, just to give you a secret, secret insight into Donald Trump's, the way that he thinks, his psyche and his mentality. Now, also here in the United States, we've had tragic developments within the past week as far as air travel is concerned. On Wednesday evening last week, January 29th, an American airplane with 64 passengers was hit by an Army helicopter, a Black Hawk, with 3 passengers over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, there were no survivors. And then on Friday evening, January 31st, there was a private medical jet carrying 6 passengers that crashed in Northeast Philadelphia with no survivors and then 1 casualty on the ground. And I saw so many people on Facebook and TikTok asking, what's going on? Why are we seeing all of these airplane crashes? What's going on with this? And for those of you who listened to my show last week, perhaps you will remember that I mentioned that Uranus stationed direct last Thursday. So Uranus, remember the planet of shocks and surprises, things happen out of the blue, has been retrograde or had been retrograde since September 1st of 2024. And as Uranus is coming out of retrograde, stationing direct, preparing to move forward, there was always going to be the potential that we were going to see more instances of geoseismic activity, like earthquakes, volatility, sharp changes in financial markets, issues with themes dealing with freedom and truth, and also problems or issues with aviation, okay? So that's why, more than likely, when I'm thinking about the energy of the planets, that's why we've been seeing the sudden surge of aircraft accidents. Now, I want you to remember, it's not that transits cause bad things to happen. Transits just open the door of potentiality for, a certain energetic frequency to occur. So let's think about it like this. Let's think about a wet, slippery floor, okay? You're walking across the floor. not really being careful, and you slip and fall, right? Because the floor was wet. It's not the floor that made you fall, not the floor that made you slip. It's just that the environment or the circumstances were more conducive to you slipping and falling. So likewise, when Uranus stationed direct, a lot of the issues and themes of Uranus were going to come to the forefront. So it's not like the planet directly caused these events. There was just a higher probability of them occurring, okay, with Uranus stationing direct. And our hearts and prayers go out to the families. Oh gosh, so many tears came to me this morning when I saw a video on Good Morning America that someone made of the members of the ice skating team, you know, such young talent, and it's just been such a sad thing to watch. So let's talk about our transits for this week. So today, Tuesday, February 4th, Venus moves into the fire sign of Aries. So Venus has been in the water sign of Pisces. Now Venus is in Aries, okay? So usually Venus will be in a sign for about 4 weeks, but because Venus is going to be going retrograde around the beginning of March, Venus is going to be in the sign of Aries for the next 7 weeks, okay? So let's talk about Venus for a second. Venus is the planet of love, beauty. She represents our relating principle, how we relate to others in our relationships, the people that we are drawn to, okay? So when we put Venus in the individualistic fire sign of Aries, we get a completely different energy, okay? And when I intuitively feel into the energy of Venus in the sign of Aries, she almost feels like Xena, warrior princess to me. Okay, that's the energy that I get. Venus in Aries is very forthcoming and direct about what she needs and what she expects from her friendships and from her relationships. She prioritizes her desires and her passions, and she's not willing to compromise herself for any relationship. So even though she's got this energy of fighting for love, right? She will not maintain a relationship if it is detrimental to her in any way, shape, or form. She would rather be alone and focus on herself, learning how to love herself, learning how to value herself, and to be in a situation that does not serve her. So with Venus and Aries, over the next 7 weeks, you're going to be really drawn to just enjoying life, maybe doing fun things that you've never done before, impulsive things, thrill-seeking, maybe lots of roller coasters, I don't know, but doing something different might really appeal to you at this time. Remember your children as well. Your children will be feeling this energy of Venus and Aries as well. They may all of a sudden decide they want to do something different. Maybe they want to be a little bit more of an individual, be a little bit more independent. So watch out for that as well. Also today, great news. I'm so excited about this development here. Jupiter stations direct today, February 4th. Now, Jupiter has been retrograde in the sign of Gemini since October 9th, 2024. And finally goes direct today. So Jupiter is the planet of growth, abundance, expansion, opportunity, philosophy, and wisdom. So when Jupiter was retrograde, instead of moving ahead with opportunities, we were really being invited to review our beliefs, review our philosophies, our goals, the opportunities that we were pursuing to see if they were really in alignment with the highest part of ourselves. When I tap into the energy intuitively of Jupiter direct, I literally hear the time for reflection is over. It's time to move ahead with your plans so I can expand and grow them. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move forward with our ideas, with sharing thoughts, with the opportunities that we were pursuing. So I want you to think about your children as well. What opportunities are they leaning towards? What have they been thinking about? Where can they take a major step? So maybe you or one of the kids has been thinking about signing up for a speaking class like Toastmasters, or signing up for a class where you're learning something different like astrology. Okay, especially for you parents who have children with Gemini placements. If you have a child with a Gemini ascendant, Gemini sun, or moon, I really encourage you to support them in stepping into new opportunities. Jupiter will not be back in the sign of Gemini for another 12 years. So Jupiter entered the sign of Gemini May 2024, and he will be there until the end of May 2025 this year. So you've got a few more months to really use the magic of Gemini like you've got $1 million in your pocket, because he won't be back here in the sign of Gemini for another 12 years. So it's all about timing. And Jupiter direct says, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's move ahead with these opportunities. Now for Sunday this week, Sunday, February the 9th, we will have the sun in Aquarius, 20 degrees Aquarius, conjunct the planet Mercury. Remember, Mercury is the planet of communication and how we think. Okay, so Mercury will be cazimi with the sun, which means in the heart of the sun, the energy of Mercury will be amplified there at 20 degrees of Aquarius. And this is a really excellent aspect when it comes to communication and when it comes to the intellect. Okay, the sun here with Mercury will add a dose of clarity, will add light to your thinking process. And you're prone to have really deep realizations about everything that you've been wondering about and you haven't quite been able to gain any clarity. You're likely to get that this weekend and even get clarity behind the inner dynamics of issues and situations that have been a little bit muddled, okay? Don't be surprised if everything becomes crystal clear. Another thing that I'd like to add that I picked up on, my guides were sharing this with me last night about this particular aspect here. You will be able, a lot of you will be able to see, feel, sense the energy behind the words and thoughts of other people. Okay, so you might really be able to discern the underlying intention behind what someone is saying and what someone is doing. Again, this is a great aspect for feeling seen, for feeling heard when you communicate. So as a parent, great time for communication with your children. It's a great time really for teaching your children with the sun conjunct Mercury and the sign of Aquarius. And remember, Aquarius is an air sign that's really all about information and helping other people. There's a humanitarian slant to the sign of Aquarius. So maybe we can have a conversation with our children about how can we show empathy for others? How can we help others? How can we be of service to those who need it most? How can we help? So it's not just about us and what's good for us and what's good for our family, but what's good for the world, okay? It's a great time to have this conversation with your children. And also, does anyone have if you've got a child who's got a speech competition coming up maybe Saturday or Sunday? When I was in high school, we did debate speech competitions on the weekends. If you've got a child with a speech competition and if this aspect hits their natal chart in just the right way, they could really shine. Or maybe your child has a presentation at church. Maybe they're going to be speaking this Sunday. This is a great aspect for that as well. All right, and the last thing that I want to talk to you about is for Monday, February 10th. So this will be next week. We will have Mercury at 23 degrees of Aquarius squaring Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus. So with this transit, It really represents a change in the way that we think, in our thinking patterns, or new ways of communicating. And with this energy, this is a square, so there may be a little bit of tension with it. You might be prone to just saying something out of the blue that you probably never would have said before, okay? But Mercury square Uranus, it's almost like there's a lid on a pressure cooker, right? And it can just explode. So you might feel drawn just to speak your mind and just to say something. So watch out for that. We want to make sure that we use kindness, consideration, and tact, okay? But you will be drawn to speaking your truth courageously, which is a really good thing, because I think everybody feels more aligned with the highest part of themselves when we are more authentic. So this transit will help you to see things in a different way. And I really want you to remember to trust what you're feeling. Trust what you're feeling. Trust if you want to do something a different way, to think about something a different way, or to speak of something a different way. Trust where you're being led. And with that, I wish you all good luck for the transits this week, and we will turn our attention to our caller. I think we have Lynn from Florida. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good, I'm doing well. Nice to have you. And would you like a tarot reading or astrology?
I think I'll go with the tarot.
Okay, then let's do it, okay? And would you just like, I'm going to do a spread, Celtic cross. Would you just like general, something general, or is there something specific that you would like for me to focus on for you?
I guess there's a couple things. I'm looking at a case at work where I got injured and how that's going to come out by the end of this month.
Okay.
And also whether there is a move in the near future.
Okay, so let's see what comes up. Just let me connect here with my guides here, and Lynn is here. Okay, let's see things that she wants to know. Okay. Okay, Lynn, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, and Lynn, just curious, when is your birthday?
It's December 24th.
Okay, December 24th, so you're a Capricorn. Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty, so as I'm looking at the spread in front of me, I know that the card that kind of represents what's going on now, I have the Hermit. So have you been feeling a little, not really isolated and secluded, but almost just like you want to spend time alone, going over different things, you know, I guess just self-reflection is the way that I want to put it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So I've got the Hermit here. And I know that the challenge, though, I do have the Queen of Pentacles. So it almost seems as if either there are some concerns, and I'm talking more about financial work concerns or job concerns that may be at the forefront of your mind, right? Okay. All right. So there we go. There we go. I absolutely love your spread. One thing that I want to tell you, though, for your personal power card, I do have the Moon. Usually when I pull the Moon, that means that there may be something that you're not quite seeing or not quite aware of. And another saying that I have for the Moon is friend or foe. All right, so there could be someone that you're not sure whether you should trust them or not. Does this resonate?
Yes,
okay.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say that's a warning card for that particular person, just to be aware, okay, and just to keep things close to your heart. I wouldn't share everything with that person, okay?
Okay.
What I love, over the next 2 weeks, we do have the World card. So for me, it feels as if there is a successful, and even this right here, external influences, I'm seeing something about justice here being served. It looks to me, as far as your court case is concerned, and just from the energy that I'm feeling right now, I do feel as if there's a favorable outcome for you, because I also have the Ace of Cups as well that shows up within 1 month, within the period of a month. So in the next 4 weeks, the answer card that I've got, bingo. 9 of Cups, your wishes are granted. All right. I mean, I just have, there's so many great cards here that support each other or support really a favorable outcome is what it looks like to me. I will also add as well, I have the Queen of Cups, but you are a Capricorn. Do you by any chance know your moon sign?
Yeah, it's Leo, and it's in my first house, Leo rising.
Okay, so you're a Leo rising. Okay, so this is what I want to say about the Queen of Cups. Throughout this process, over the next 4 weeks, I already feel, your guides have been making me feel like, for whatever reason, your intuition is coming online and coming in stronger. Would you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. It's going to continue to amplify. It's going to continue to come in even stronger. Okay. So over the next 2 to 3 months, I really want you to be paying attention to the intuitive feelings that you have, to the nudges that you get from spirit. Okay. Because it feels like there's a lot that's coming in. Some information comes in through downloads or just realizations. And I want you to pay attention to that and to acknowledge it for what it is. It's not just a random idea that comes across, or through the front of your mind. A lot of times it's divine guidance, okay? So really lean into that. And I also have to say, my guides are drawing my eye here on the Queen of Cups card. I cannot stop looking at these 3 angels, like the 3 angels on the card. So there is a significant connection with angels, angelic beings. I would say for you. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Totally.
Okay. So please know, because I can't stop looking at the angels, and I feel like that they are coming in to let you know that actually you're being guided. They are helping you. They are guiding you through this process. You will never be alone, even though, the Hermit was the original card for the situation, and it feels like you've pulled your energy back a little bit. There's a lot of self-reflection. Your angels want you to know that they are with you. They will never leave you, and they're going to walk through this process with you. Okay, Lynn?
Oh, that's good to know. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. Yes, and that is, I'm not really seeing anything for a move directly. Now, with the Ace of Cups, the potential could be there for a move within the next 2 to 3 months, okay?
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, so we only have a few seconds left, but thank you so much for calling in, Lynn. I wish you so much luck, prosperity, everything wonderful in your life.
Thank you. No, that was a very, very good, accurate reading. Very much so. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Have a good day.
And
all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're here to the end of our show. And let me just remind you, the stars may guide us, but we hold the power to shape our destiny. So keep radiating your light, keep shining bright until I see you here again next week. Have a wonderful week.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall. Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, Ask1Radio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask1 Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast here in Australia. I just want to open the show with, we're having a lot of flooding events here in North Queensland, and I just want to say to all our family up there, please be safe. Don't go into floodwaters. Hopefully it's going to stop raining. So I know there's many other events happening around the world, and fires are still burning in California, and I know there's been flooding in France and places like that. So wherever you are in this planet of ours, please pay attention to the authorities. If you're in a turbulent weather event, please take notice and stay safe. So this week we're going to start the show with the Simply Tarot card of the week, and this was actually the very, very first card we designed in the tarot set many years ago now, over 20 years ago now. And the frangipani bush that is featured on the card as the wand actually came from my front garden, and it is actually my hand in the card. So we're pleased to propose the Simply Tarot card of the week is the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands is new beginnings, birth of a baby, or new ideas and creation. Now, when this card comes out, we don't always give birth to a baby, so sometimes it's just birth of ideas or new beginnings or new opportunities. It's a very, very positive card to come out, particularly in a reading if you've been having a little bit of a troubled patch or things haven't been going quite the way that you would like them to. To have this card come out is sort of like it's washing over with positivity. I still smile today when I see this card come out in a reading because it just reminds me of the backdrop of the Gold Coast, which was the background this was shot from. That, to be able to go down to the beach early in the morning, the sun's rising and it's a brand new day, and everything always looks more positive when the sun's shining, doesn't it? So if you get this card in a reading, no matter where it comes out, it is telling you that there's better days ahead. There's new beginnings, new opportunities, birth of new ideas, and it's the time to get creative. It's a time to sort of not look backwards, but to look forwards now. So it's a really exciting week astrologically this week because we've got most of the planets are going direct again for the first time in a very long time, which is really nice. So happy birthday to all the Aquarians. It is the Aquarian month. And I know I have lots of Aquarian friends and colleagues and clients that sort of are saying to me that they're really starting to feel the effects of Pluto biting in, even though Pluto's going to be there for a very, very long time. And Aquarians don't quite understand that. They sort of think it's going to be there for a week or two and we'll get over that and we'll get on to the next thing. And I keep trying to educate them and explain to them Pluto's going to be here for a very long time. So you've got to learn to work with the energy, because Pluto's energy is to transform, is to change your life, is to sort of lessons by Pluto are lessons that are never forgotten. He is slow, deliberate and definite. He is going to shake a lot of things up. He's going to shake up our thinking. No matter what your star sign is, we are all going to have to start to think about things that are very important in our lives in maybe a very different way. And maybe some of these ideas or things that are going to be presented by the powers that be or authorities or governments or countries aren't necessarily going to be palatable and aren't necessarily going to be to our taste, but we've got to learn to adjust and sort of look at it and say, okay, sometimes we've got to shake the snow globe up and we've got to have all those little sparkly snowy bits going everywhere before it settles. That, we've got to shake things up. So if you look at this Pluto being in Aquarius like a snow globe and shaking everything up and sort of saying, okay, nothing is fixed and rigid. Everything's up for grabs. Everything's ready to be shaken up and sort of looked at in a different way. And then as the little pieces of glitter and snow start to settle in the snow globe, we're starting to see the direction that things maybe are going to take. So, the snow globe might be sort of sparkly and snowy for quite some time before we start to see the flecks start to settle and start to see some semblance of order or direction of where our lives may be going personally. So that's going to affect each and every one of us. And as I said, Pluto and Aquarius is there for a very, very long time. well over 20 years. I think it's close on 40 years. I should look that up and get that precisely. But I mean, whether it's 20 years or 40 years is still a long time in our lifetime. So we move on to the major emphasis this week in the astrology chart, and most of it's sitting in Pisces. Now, it's really interesting when we get what's known normally, if we're three planets, a stellium of planets together, or we get a group of planets all sitting together. It's a very, very intense energy. It's not just for that particular star sign is the energy affecting. It affects each and every one of us, but it affects the other signs in different ways. What I mean by that is a much more watered down approach, not as intense as I'm going to describe about the Pisces energy and for the water sign energy. But for each and every one of us past that point, it sort of just flows down and it gets gentler and gentler and gentler. But it doesn't mean the lessons are any less important. It just means they may not be quite as intense or in your face, but certainly the lessons are there for each and every one of us to learn. So we're kicking off this 4-planet configuration with Saturn is leading the charge. Now, Saturn is a planet of discipline, of structure, of bringing limitations into our life, but it's also the limitations are there for a reason. Sometimes we can have the most brilliant, great, fantastic idea, but we have no idea how we're going to start it, where the middle bit is or where the ending is. That we need the structure, we need the platform, we need the solid sort of stable foundation underneath us, and that's what Saturn's doing. So Saturn's like the father figure, somebody that's supposed to be intelligent and has wisdom and guides us, and sometimes can be a bit too firm, but it's always for our own good because he's trying to teach us structure and patience and all those wonderful words that most of us don't like. And it's grounding us, it's giving us that platform to sort of start to build upon. So it's really important, and it's important that Saturn is leading the charge here, not one of the other planets or the North Node. So Saturn is the leader. He's the engine driving the train, and he's saying to us that we need to be structured. We need to be confident, but we need to also make sure that we go slow enough that we fully understand what is ahead of us. Now, I'm talking about Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and the opposite sign of Virgo. This will wash across the other 8 signs. So don't think that you miss out on this little treat of Saturn and his little merry band of friends following behind in Pisces. It affects each and every one of us. So the first conjunction is Neptune. Now, Neptune is the planet of illusion, delusion, creativity. It's also the planet that rules Pisces. So Neptune feels incredibly comfortable here. He's at home. He's able to kick his shoes off and lay back on the couch and sort of say, I'm home, I'm having a good time. But with Saturn sort of giving him a kick up the behind every now and then, sort of saying, come on, we've got work to do, we've got things to do, get your creative hat out of the closet. It's time to sort of start get working on some projects, starting to look at what it is that you want to bring into your life. The new year is well and truly underway now. We're in the second week of February, so there's no time to get slack. It's time to sort of ramp the engine up a little bit and let's get cracking with the things that you want to achieve in 2025. And that's really important, but you've also got to make sure that while you're doing this, that you're not hurting anybody else, you're not deceiving yourself in any way, but you're using your creative skills, your ability to think outside the square a little bit, or put your creative hat on, or sort of bring in some resources from the past that mightn't have worked maybe as well in other situations, but now is the perfect time for them to work. So it's a very, very creative time, and I want you to really sort of try and be as creative as possible. And creativity doesn't mean you've got to be able to paint a picture or write a song or sing a song. It just means your ability to sort of add some sparkle, some magic to what you're doing. And we all have a certain amount of creativity, but not all of us can paint a picture or play the piano. So that's really important. So sometimes get bogged down and say, oh, no, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Yes, you do. We all have a creativity there. It's just a matter of finding it, and it's applied in many different ways. Some people can bake the most beautiful cake and decorate it, and other people wouldn't have a clue where to start. But, someone else can do something that someone else can't do. We all have a certain amount of creativity. So the next conjunction, or the holding hands, is not actually a planet. It's the moon's north node. Now, when we see the north node in a chart, is where we're aspiring to. It's what we're hoping to achieve. Now, with the North Node sitting in Pisces, this to me is we're trying to achieve our highest self. We're trying to sort of tap into our intuition, tap into our creativity, tap into sort of being amazing and sort of not judging anybody else, but looking at our own abilities and sort of saying, what can I improve? What can I bring to the table? What can I bring that's very, very different? And sometimes the North Node is associated with, not so much in a transit situation, but in a natal chart, in your own birth chart, as being karmic. Now, I don't want to bring the karmic slant into this here because the North Node is just transiting through, and I'm doing what's known as a transit reading, and it's not necessarily on a karmic level. Some people may feel as if some of the situations that they're going to have got a karmic feel or have a blockage there or something. Look, just try and work with it. Don't try and get bogged down on the word karma. Let's just work through it and say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm working through. I'm doing my very best. I'm moving things along to the best of my ability, and just sort of, break down those barriers in that way. If we start putting labels on things, I think we start putting blockages up and roadblocks that we don't need at this time. The North Node is showing us the way forward. It's not saying stop and have a read of the road signs and plop another 6 in there just for good measure. It's saying let's just keep working, let's just keep progressing, like moving forward. Everything is very fluid at the moment, and we want to keep it that way. The final conjunction, or the holding hands here, is Venus. Now, Venus is the planet of love and affection. Now, when we say love and affection, yes, it can mean relationships. It can be the person that we're in love with, the person we hold dear. We have loving relationships, hopefully, with our parents, our children, our siblings, our friends. But sometimes it's about just the love of life. It can be the things that we love to do. If you like to go for a walk in the woods, or you like to sort of go to the beach, or you like to go for a swim, or you like to go roller skating, or whatever, that can be a love too. It's a passion. It's something that puts a smile on our face. So when we're talking about the Pisces energy here, yes, it can apply to if somebody is looking for a new relationship. And let's go that way first. If you were looking for a new relationship, disregarding your sign, you would be looking for somebody that's going to bring some structure into your life. It's going to help you become more creative or see the more pleasant side of life. It's helping you sort of see the way forward and achieve your goals. So you'd be looking for a partner that would fit that bill. You'd be looking for somebody that is maybe not necessarily a little bit older than you, but somebody that comes across that has got some sort of air of authority about them, or they're quite grown up, they're quite mature in their attitude. But at the same time, they can appreciate the creative, the gentler side of life, the things that put a smile on your face, and they're helping you achieve those things, and vice versa, you would be helping them achieve that as well. But if we take it away from looking for a relationship, then we've got structure in our lives to bring, the creative juices together. We're being shown the way forward with projects that we might need to put a little bit of passion or a little bit of love, a bit of sparkle into it, and sort of, get it out to the universe and say, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm hoping to achieve. I've been working really hard on this project, or to get this thing off the ground. I'd like you to take a look at it, and that's good. So the final thing that we're going to talk about this week is Jupiter has gone direct. Now, isn't that amazing? We've been talking about Jupiter being retrograde in Gemini for such a long time now. Jupiter has just gone direct in the last 48 hours. So this means the planet of expansion, opportunity, and luck in Gemini is now going to move forward. Now, with Jupiter being in Gemini, it is affecting the air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the opposite sign of Sagittarius. Now, this doesn't mean all of a sudden you're going to suddenly win the lottery or something like that. That'd be nice if that happened. But what it means is that things now that seem to have been stuck or, held up in some sort of way, that have been stopping your life moving forward, will now start to slowly break down and start to rev up and start to move forward. Now, we also have another Arabian part that is affecting this too. So this is known as the part of fortune. And I know when I first got into astrology many, many moons ago, I thought, oh, that's where you find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, like the leprechauns talk about. But no, it's not that at all. The part of fortune is where you're bringing your life into a balance, where it feels like that you're very fortunate, that things are starting to move. So to have the part of fortune actually conjunct Jupiter here in Gemini, and Jupiter is going direct again, it means things could go forward at a very, very fast pace of knots. And it's sort of like everything's sort of felt stuck and not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden the engine ramps up and it's sort of full steam ahead, and it's like, wow, we get a bit caught off guard. So If you're one of these people that is affected, particularly by those 4 signs that I was talking about, not so much for the others, then be prepared for energies to shift really, really quickly, things to move really quickly, and your life to really take off like a speeding train. And that's a good thing, because for many people, they've felt stuck now for some time, and it's nice to be able to feel as if you're back in the driver's seat and things are starting to move forward. We're going to take our first caller now, and we're going to talk with Jacqueline in Seattle, in Washington, USA. Are you there, Jacqueline? Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie. Do you have a question I can answer for you?
Yes, I do. One moment, please.
Can you repeat that for me, please, sweetie? Did you have a question, Jacqueline? Because I missed what you said first off, sweetie. You went all fuzzy. Okay. Look, Jacqueline's obviously not able to get through with us. I'll just go ahead and give Jacqueline a little general reading, because we seem to have lost the connection there. Jacqueline, the first thing that I'm picking up is that I want to see you get some momentum back in your life again. It's like you've been sitting there not necessarily feeling sorry for yourself, but you've been sitting there waiting for some divine sign to come down and bite you and say, right, now's the time, let's get cracking. This is what we need to do. Instead of waiting for that divine sign, I think what you need to do is get up and start the momentum yourself. You know, if there's projects that you want to get off the ground, then start to look at it. I'm being shown 3 in particular. They didn't give me any labels on what they were, but they were showing me 3 major areas of your life that need attention. And it's like, not necessarily is one more important than the other. It's like whatever you're drawn to first, let's start the momentum on that. You know, you might be able to only go so far, and then we stop, and then we look at the next, thing on the list, and we get, moving with that as much as we can, and then we come to a stop, and then we move to the third one. And we keep going round until we've achieved what we need to achieve. They were also showing me by March this year, Jacqueline, there's going to be a very major decision to be made around where you're living. Now, I'm not saying that you're necessarily going to plan on moving. What I'm saying is whatever the major decision is coming up around where you're living, it seems to be something that you need to give a lot of thought to. So if it's the idea of maybe moving residence, then don't be in a hurry to make that happen. Give it a lot of thought. Look at all the pros and cons. My interpretation of this wasn't so much a move, but maybe somebody moving out of the house, or maybe some changes coming up, looking at maybe renovating or adding something new or changing the furniture around or something. I've got a real shift in energy, which is something I think that is very important, that you need to honour this. Now, again, I'm stressing you don't have to do it all in one day or 1 week. Just because the ideas come forward means it's time for you to really just listen to what your guides are telling you, what they're sharing with you. Look for the signs, the symbols, and don't ignore them. Even if you don't understand them at the time, that doesn't matter so much. It's a matter of just working with what comes naturally. Sometimes I think we try and force things too much, where we're not allowing things to move forward in our lives at their own pace. So we get an idea and we think, oh, good, I've got to have that all sorted by the end of the week. No, we don't. Just because an idea has come to us doesn't necessarily mean that we've got to execute it and have it all completed in a very short time frame. This year is going to be about the long game for you, Jacqueline. Ideas will come, we'll get a bit of a momentum, and then things will come to a stop. And then it's like we pick up the ball again and we run with it again for a certain period of time, and then we stop again. It's not necessarily is everything going to be completed quickly. You've got to be prepared to play the long game. You've got to be prepared for stop-start situations. The other thing that they were showing me, now I don't know what it is, and we normally don't talk about health, or I don't, because of so many governing laws around the world. But what they were showing me was whatever you've changed or whatever you've made different in your life in the last 6 months, whether it's diet, exercise, you've started eating carrots and you've cut out potatoes or whatever it might be, continue on with that, because your energy levels now are starting to level themselves out, and there's a lot of internal healing going on inside your body. I'm not saying we're going to make you 20 again, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of self-healing going on, and whatever the small changes are that you've made to your life, the adjustments that you've made, they are helping this. And I want to see that continue, because I think you've had a fairly not so much a difficult life, but you've had a fairly full-on sort of life where, you've been pulled from many different directions and not really had time to stop and give yourself time to assess things or process things or even let the body heal at different times. And now's the time when we're allowing all of that to catch up, which is good, because I think it needs to, and this will sort of help you achieve the goals that I've been talking about. And, it's a positive year for you. It's an action-packed year. It's a year where you're going to be really able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So I'm sorry, Jacqueline, I didn't get to talk to you in person. I hope it's helped you when you go back and watch the replay. So we're going to talk with Gladys in Coatesville in Pennsylvania. Are you there, sweetie?
My friend John was.
Are you there, sweetie? Do you have a question I can answer for you?
I go home. I know I am right.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're having a few technical issues today. I apologise. We'll be moving on to our next caller very shortly. So it's interesting, Mercury's going direct at the moment, but you think with Mercury retrograde at the moment with the technical stuff that we've had going on today. But look, this is all part of the fun, and it makes the show interesting, and everybody knows that it's live. So that's good because, it is a live show. Oh, she's here now. Gladys, can I help you, sweetie?
Hello there.
Hello, sweetie. Do you have a question I can answer for you?
I'm in a new relationship, sort of, kind of, and I'm kind of wondering if it's going to lead anywhere.
Okay. Do you mind sharing with me the person's first initial, please?
J.
Okay, thank you. Just so that I can tune into their energy. Really, really interesting because I feel they sort of feel the same way you do. They're sort of hoping that it can be something much, much more, but they're still being sort of very realistic, very sort of sit on the fence a little bit, sort of wondering, not going too fast, sort of not knowing how you feel. It's sort of like we take 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. Look, I think that's perfectly okay because, you've both been hurt before in the past, and I think this is wise that you're taking things very slowly. Look, I really like this person. They've got a very, very kind heart. And look, they do you a good turn before they do you a bad turn. But I don't know that they move very fast. They don't make decisions quickly. It's sort of like like snail's pace as far as making decisions, and particularly about emotional decisions or personal life. But I really like this person. There's lots of laughter between the two of you, and I think that's something that's been missing out of your life for a very long time. So it's nice to see you smile.
Right.
What, sweetie?
I said you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, isn't it? And it's nice to feel you laughing again. It's like we're taking layers off you of some pretty hard years that you've had. And I'm not just talking about the last few years. I'm talking about a lot of years that, weren't exactly a bed of roses. So this is really nice. Look, I think this is going to lead into a really happy, committed fairy tale. You'll get the fairy tale ending, the happily ever after, and it's about time and it's well deserved. It's interesting because I feel that they've got lots of skills that they haven't shared with you yet. It's sort of like it's like peeling back the layers of an onion, but in a very sweet way, that as you get to know this person more, there's more and more beautiful sides to them, more and more talents that you didn't know that existed, that they sort of haven't shown you at all at the beginning, like they've shown you so much, and it's like they're waiting for the right time for things to be revealed. But you've probably done the same too. You haven't given all of yourself in the first month either. You're keeping a bit back because you don't want to be hurt again either. So, I think the two of you are not only going to fall in love very, very deeply, but you're also going to heal each other from things of the past where people have let you down and have hurt you. And it's just, I don't know whether both of you can sing or you just like to sing, and even though you haven't got great voices, but there's lots of singing, lots of laughter, lots of happiness. It's sort of like a very joyful time together, and that really makes me happy to see that because I know that you haven't had the easiest of lives, and to have this is great. I think
funny thing is that we were boyfriend and girlfriend when we were 17.
Right. Oh, well, that's nice that you've refound each other. Isn't it lovely?
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe it wasn't right then when you were 17. Maybe the power of love then would have been too intense and you might have destroyed each other. you know, there's always a reason why people reconnect it later in life and, you know, go on to have this most amazing relationship that I'm seeing for you two. Because usually it means that, you know, in your teenage years, you couldn't have handled the intensity of the connection. So, you know, it's probably a blessing in a sense that you didn't fall in love, get married and have a family, because you might have destroyed what is going to be this most beautiful love story. And what I was going to say was that I feel the two of you will be making a decision before the end of the year to live together and with the view of getting married. He's old-fashioned. He wants to get married.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in this modern marriage stuff. He believes in, you know, they're good enough to sleep with, they're good enough to marry. And that's nice. That's respectful. I think that's really beautiful. You know, just, you know, look, for some people it's not for them, but for you two it is. You know, you believe in the sanctum of marriage, and that's, you know, the icing on the cake as far as cementing your relationship together. So does he have a house already?
Yes, he does. He's got everything. He's got a house, he's got a truck, he's got 2 trucks, he's got everything.
Yeah, but I can see him sort of suggesting you moving with him into his house, but then he's also talking about if you don't like that, we'll get another one.
He sure did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, and that's nice because he's not just sort of saying, well, you know, let's take this or leave it. He's very considerate of how you might feel and what you might want. And so you said he's got trucks. Does he still drive them himself?
Yeah, he does. He's retired, but he drives for other people. Like we have a lot of Amish around our area, so he drives the Amish people around.
Yeah, but I can see him asking you to go with him on some of these little trips.
Right. Yes, he has. Yes.
Yeah, and I want to say to you, I think it's fun. You know, like you go, yes, there's work to be done, but you pack a lunch and you have a bit of a picnic and, you know, you're laughing and talking and singing, and it just makes the day very pleasant. Look, I really like him. I think he's an amazing man, and I think the two of you are going to have a lot of fun together. I think he's going to surprise you that he's actually quite good at baking. He hasn't told you that yet, has he? He hasn't baked.
Yeah, he did tell me that. Yes, he did.
Yeah, but I can see him doing, particularly cupcakes was the sort of, you know, the thing that I can see him making batches of them and decorating them up, and he has fun with that. Anyway, sweetie, that's where we've got to leave it. I wish you well. It's a lovely, perfect love story, and I'm so pleased you've reconnected even after all these years. It really makes my heart sing. And it's nice to see that, you know, love can come at any stage in our life. We don't have to be teeny boppers to bring in love. Love finds us whether we're, you know, 15 or 95. So this week I want to leave you with a very appropriate song, actually, for Gladys and her beautiful man. It's Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, and it's because it's the month of love, I thought we'll feature love songs this month, and it's called Endless Love, and it is a beautiful song. It's one of those timeless classic songs that it doesn't matter where you are, you hear that on the radio or somebody puts it on the turntable like I do, and you sort of just automatically feel that beautiful radiating love vibe, and you sort of, you know, two of the most amazing singers. I have a real passion for Motown singers. They're sort of some of my favourites in all time in the world. I know I talk about other people, but I really do feel very passionate about Motown singers, and I've sort of always jokingly said to people around me, maybe I was part of Motown once upon a time in another lifetime, because I really do resonate with their style of music, and it really is very, very uplifting. So, of course, you know, we're in the month of love. Do something nice, put a smile on your face, be open to the potential of, if you're single, that you might meet somebody soon and you might be like Gladys and a new man, and you might find your endless love. So until next week, bye for now.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Shelley Devine, and while I'm waiting for my caller, who I'm looking forward to, I wanted to read you a little something out of one of my books, and it's about who we are. Who we appear to be on the outside may not match who we are on the inside. For example, on the outside, a person may appear to be tough, no-nonsense type of person, when deep in their soul, they're very sensitive. shy person, quiet, aloof, maybe super intelligent, independent, and fierce inside. You know the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. That comes to mind. In life, we experience many different things that change us.